Greetings, dear Gemini. Welcome to Tifa's Tarot, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to go ahead and take a peek at your general tarot forecast for Scorpio season. So we're in the throes of Scorpio season. I believe we have about 10, 11 more days left of the season. So let's go ahead and see how it's been faring for you. This will be a Scorpio themed reading, and we'll get a little bit more into that as you start seeing what the question prompts are for this particular reading. Now, keeping in mind that on a collective level, Scorpio season implores us to really look deep within and to examine the depths of our psyche and to see in the ways in which we need to transform, right? And the Scorpio energy really is it's in a water sign, so it's very emotionally engaged as a fixed sign. So there is a bit of very steady emotional intensity that's connected with this. And it really wants us to be assertive and responsible for our inner world, so to speak, right? So let's first go ahead and set the intention. This is for Gemini. If you have Gemini, it's in your sun, your moon, or your rising, then it is my sincerest intention that this reading may resonate with you in some capacity and that you're able to receive these messages and apply them to your own life, always and only for your highest good. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Our first question is looking at the depths, okay? So what lies beneath the surface of you, Gemini? What are some hidden desires or emotions that you are experiencing? Perhaps what are some unspoken truths that you're just not trying to openly acknowledge at this time? So let's see, what are the depths for Gemini? Show me the depths for Gemini. What lies beneath the surface for our Geminis? And I will be taking reversals. All right, so your first card that came out was this 8 of Wands. And then you've got the 3 of Swords, and it's in the reverse position. That's promising. And then you also have this Temperance card. So let's put it all together. Now, 8 of Wands is all about things. I feel like you've been experiencing a lot recently. There's just been a lot of messages coming towards you, a lot of movement, a lot of maybe even changes that are happening. And they've been sudden changes. These are not things that you really expected to happen, but hey, here we are, this is where you are right now. And it's like there's something here where momentum have just kind of quickened. The pace of things in your life have very much quickened. And you've got this 3 of Swords, and it's in the reverse position. So this to me indicates that you are really healing something. These changes, maybe you felt a little bit, you had some resentment, but I do feel like you're kind of changing from that. And perhaps you're reconciling with people in your life or reconciling with your new reality in some way. And you might have felt a little bit angered or annoyed about some of these changes. But I do think that there's something here where it's just there is an acknowledgement about I was hurt before and these changes came a little bit unwanted. But at the end of the day, I'm really healing and I'm learning to just kind of forgive the scenario as it is. And even though you could still be very emotionally guided or feeling very disappointed about these recent changes that you had, I feel like part of it is just in order for you to heal, you're kind of repressing a little bit of the anger or the disappointment that you've had in your life, okay? And you've got also the Temperance here. So this Temperance to me indicates that you are really trying to just be in peace. You're trying to harmonize things. And you're really just trying to heal yourself and bring some moderation into the situation. I'm feeling this is the energy that you are acting on, okay? And the way that you're acting on it is by kind of ignoring or repressing the pain of what these changes have brought to you, okay? I do feel Kitty, this is my cat. This is my little ginger boy, Tychus. And every time I start recording, he just want to jump in my lap. So you ready to move on with your life, buddy? Oh, he's got some talons too. All right, I guess not. So that's kind of where I'm feeling. It says what's lying beneath here. I feel on the front of things, you seem very calm, cool, collected. You are working really hard to just be in a state of acceptance of where you are and just kind of trying to harmonize the situation of where you are right now. And You just want to be calm. And maybe if it's not for you, you're doing it for the sake of other people. Okay. So I feel like that's kind of what lies beneath the surface for you at this time. And it's a little bit of healing energy. So you're not really speaking so much about it. You're just kind of on the surface. It looks like you're calm, you're ready. There's a bit of serenity that's involved here. But it was hard for you. It was a process for you to get to this stage where you're able to just be at peace with the changes that have occurred in your life at this time. Now, let's next look at the release. So our release is looking at what needs to be shed from your life, or that something that you need to let go of, what's not working for you. This could be a job, this could be a relationship, it could be a belief system, it could just be like a way of thinking. So let's see what needs to be released with our Geminis. What does Gemini need to release at this time? What does Gemini need to release? You've got the Devil. If you have any toxic habits, or let's see what else though. You've got the King of Cups. This could be a father figure perhaps. And you've got the Moon. Kitty, I can't do this with you on me. I'm sorry. Hold on. All right. So essentially, sorry guys, I had to get rid of this cat. I was like, you are causing a ruckus, breaking up my concentration on my lap over here. All right. So in the release position, you've got the Devil here, which talks about excesses. This is being tied down to things, right? This is being oppressed in some way, maybe through bad habits, like addictions of some sort, maybe obsessions, maybe a dependency. There could be a person, maybe a father figure depending on you, because we've got the King of Cups here. And there's something here about like the truth of matter is not really what it seems like. The Moon talks about an illusion. Things do appear to be a certain way, but the reality of it is much different. Okay. And so I don't know if there is a dependency that you need to release. Maybe someone is depending on you, or you're depending on somebody else. But there's something that's creating a very like toxic environment when it comes to a codependency in some way. I don't think it's codependency. It's like you perhaps feeling this powerlessness. And it does have something to do, like I said, the first thing I'm getting is like father figure here, right? Because with this King of Cups here. Someone who's your advisor, your counselor, who's maybe wise, and maybe this could be you providing this energy, and this is like people depending on you, and maybe there's a reason for this, because I feel like this scenario of what this is very complicated. Okay, it's not something that can just be like easily explained in a sentence or two, and you could be feeling very confused about this relationship, or the like how complicated things are, how the powerlessness of how you feel, or the limitations in which you feel. It could come with a sense of powerlessness, and it's making you maybe a little bit uncomfortable. But I'm feeling that you need to, because this is in the position of releasing, you need to really think more logically. I'm feeling maybe like how you think and how you feel. I think there's a level of balance that needs to be achieved here, so that you're really able to align your head and your heart with a solution in some way. What do you do, or what do you need to acknowledge to understand more about this dependence here, or these limitations that you're experiencing here? And I don't really feel like you know, honestly, because that Moon is really just, it talks about there's a level of uncertainty here that you're just not really sure of how you do it. But I do think, honestly, what this message really is just to surrender to how things are now, and to not necessarily like have a pre-made solution to how things are going to turn out. That you need to just like kind of live in the moment and sit with this for a minute, before you can just like hastily just do something. I don't think this is not telling you to just like get out of something. Don't do it. It's not your problem anymore. This is like really being able to make a very wise and balanced decision, and sometimes those things don't come very easily, and we have to kind of sit in the discomfort until we have a level of clarity in which we can jump to a solution. Okay. Because I don't feel that right now is the time to really like move on releasing this. Okay. Releasing this limitation. I'm really thinking that you need to sit with this for a little longer. Now let's go to the Phoenix. So the Phoenix talks about how can you embrace transformation, and Scorpio energy is really all about renewal and transformation. It's about that rebirth energy. And this question is more about like, how can you utilize the energy of this particular season to really just transform things in your life? Okay. Such as this situation. So let's see, how can you embrace transformation at this time, Gemini? How can Gemini embrace transformation at this time? I'm getting a lot of masculine energy here. Okay. This is basically like you need to be about your business. Like honestly, because what I'm seeing here is that you're getting really impatient. This is very immature energy. Okay. You need to transform this immature energy, and that this is like you being prone to kind of having a tizzy or going into tantrums and feeling really bored and unmotivated to do things, and it makes you very distracted and unreliable in a lot of ways. Okay. And to transform that, what you really need to do is get into this this energy of being. We talk about kings. Kings are very directive forces, and kings not only are directive, but when we talk about that masculine energy initiates change on a physical level. Okay. It wants you to not be receptive, but to be productive in what you do. And so think about like where you actually want to be, because the King of Wands wants you to embrace leadership positions and wants you to look at, okay, well, I want to be here. What is the big picture of where I am? Maybe the big picture is not where you are right now, but is utilizing the time that you have right now and the condition of where you are right now to think like more long term. Maybe this particular time and these limitations that you're experiencing right now are opening a door for you to think more long term about what the possibilities of your life are. Okay. And it also implores you to just kind of work with more optimism and not to get too stuck on being like what didn't go wrong, but planning things from, okay, well, how do I build to where I want to be? And then with this King of Swords, this wants you to be very strategic. It wants you to be disciplined about achieving those goals that you have, okay? And to be very serious about like the situation that you're in right now with these limitations, with this powerlessness that you're feeling, and how do you raise that standard to not be in this anymore? How do you raise the standard to be more independent, to live with more integrity and more morality, and to live with more authority for yourself and not having to rely on people as much? Okay. And I think this is, like I said, is really exercise. You do this by being serious in life. Turn off the distractions. This is not a time for you to be having fun right now. This is a time for you to put on your adult underwear. Okay. And to and to get busy like strategizing and to seeing like what do you actually want, utilizing this time as efficiently as you possibly can. So that's what I'm getting for how you can transform. You got to grow up, Gemini. You got to grow up a little bit. I'm sorry, if nobody told you, I'm telling you right now, this is the energy that I'm getting. And finally, we'll look at the light within. This is what strength or gift is emerging within you right now. So what's awakening inside of you? This is a strength or a gift that's emerging. What is the light within, Gemini? Okay, you've got the Four Swords. Just like I said, Gemini, like you're not as this is not a season where you're being very like, you're not really actively going towards goals right now. And it's showing, the tarot was showing you that. But sometimes we need things to happen to us. We need things to happen to us where we are in positions that we just have to we have to deal with the reality of where we are, and then strategize to where we want to be. So what I'm getting for what's emerging in you right now, I feel like you've had a lot of time for meditation and contemplation with this Four of Swords. This is being able to rest, being able to relax, really being in self-protective mode and rejuvenation mode. And then from that, I think what you get from that, in this time where you're meditating and contemplating, you are going to be hit with a lot of ideas. The ideas that you're having are, it wants you to be assertive and direct, okay? Because Knights are all about action takers, and then our swords are our thoughts. So be very actively going towards what are the ideas that you're having and how can you implement them at this time. Nine of Swords is also recover. You got this in the reverse position. This is you recovering from anxiety, you recovering from this paranoia that you've been experiencing. Maybe not getting enough sleep, maybe feeling very guilty, maybe feeling like a little bit of shame in your life to some degree, having some mental health issues, but really trying to resolve them the best that you can. And just being in the way that we resolve some of our mental issues is just by being intentional. Maybe that is taking that time out. Maybe we need to give ourselves that space to do exactly that. And then finally, what I'm getting is when you address these problems that you're having, and I'm seeing that there are some limitations here. There are some issues here. You're not feeling at your best here. You're not exactly where you want to be. And I do feel like this has to do with circumstances that happen that are outside of your control, and is just what it is. But when I'm saying that, with some dedication, after you've had time to kind of rest and to think of grand ideas and to strategize, I am seeing that hard work does go a long way. I do believe that your wishes can come true. I do believe that those achievements can be made with a little bit more directive help. But it is very important for you right now to shut off those distractions and to just get a little bit more strategic about how you spend your time. All right. So that's what I got for you, Gemini. I love you, Gemini, and I hope you have a blessed day. Now, if this was helpful, please do comment, like, and subscribe for additional content. I do tarot. My name is Tifa. And if you like the way that I do tarot and you'd like a personal reading, feel free to see the services that I provide, and I will provide a link in the description below. Bye, Gemini.